Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for February the 10th through the 16th, 2020. So let's take a moment to take a deep breath and to really connect in with the dimensions of power. And that is to say your spiritual power, where you have, and this is the things that they're showing me, where you are ballsy, you know, where you exhibit confidence. So let's tap into our inner resources as we enter through the gateway of the portal of love that is at the center of your being through the heart chakra. And so let us go within, breathing and relaxing, letting go of anything that is on our mind, any worries or concerns, releasing any of the comments, the inner chatter that is just a distraction. And we have to push through that. We have to move through that. And maybe you would envision yourself on a boat, going in a canal beneath the surface, where you are maybe surrounded sort of on both sides. And there's all this chatter and noise, but you just look straight ahead at the beautiful form within your soul that is your divine heart flame. And as you grow closer to that heart flame, you just feel your suffering and any conflict just fall away and heal. And as you make this connection, as you draw closer to your divine heart flame, you begin to feel the warmth glowing within your chest as this connection and activation is set. You're locked in, you're logged in now into your internet of well-being. And notice the peace that comes over the waters of your subconscious as you travel on the boat that does not rock any longer, but just glides and doesn't even disturb by creating the slightest ripple. Because now you are not resisting any aspect of yourself, but you are one with it. And as you reach your heart flame, allow yourself to enter into this beautiful, translucent, pale pink light. Flames of cosmic love of the higher heart. And feel or sense that you're allowing your guidance inner guidance of unconditional love to expand. And trust that this is now, they wrote the word point, this is now becoming your point of attraction. And so just breathe in and absorb this light into every aspect of your body. And the Archangel Raguel is coming through, whose name means the friend of God. And Archangel Raguel helps us with relationship conflicts that we are having. And it could also be the relationship not only to people, but to things. So our perspective or our perception, or that there's some kind of limiting belief that we might have, we're perpetuating that limiting belief, and it's creating this dynamic of imbalance. Like an example with food. Now he wrote this, I'm not sure if this is an example or literal for some of us, but he's given that, so he's trying to demonstrate a teaching moment he's writing. So you can call upon him to help you to sort of heal those imbalances that's causing you to create and to perpetuate these limiting ideas. Because we have so many of these imperfect relationships, for lack of a better word, that is sort of running us from within. And they are running, and he just wrote, I am, and they're running a counter, and a word I felt in my mouth is counter imbalance, but I was thinking counter attack, okay? So they're creating a counter imbalance to your I am presence. Well, he's saying it's the same, the counter attack, counter imbalance, but they prefer this word vibrationally, even if it does not exist or make sense, but the counter imbalance. They are like thoughts of resistance, thoughts that oppose everything that is true about you. They counter attack or negate your well-being and its wellness, so that you have to struggle for wholeness, for oneness and alignment with yourself. And within this beautiful, translucent, pale pink white, the more that when you tap into the frequencies of color that are pale and translucent, color becomes less distinct as you move up in consciousness into those higher bandwidths. So by this tapping into this light, you're tapping into a higher level of healing, of love, that can help you, and they're writing the word fertilize, to help fertilize your consciousness with these new patterns of divine light, these new codes. So it's a coding process. And it will help you to receive new awarenesses that you have not had the opportunity to recognize. So especially in this week, when we're dealing with the Valentine week, and there's going to be so much going on, so much judgment. They're just bringing up a judge's gavel, and that judgment you turn against yourself. And whether you're we in a relationship or not, those who are in and those who are out are looking at the opposite and saying, oh, they have it so much better. And if you can imagine that conversation, you'll get what I'm saying. You know, somebody's in the relationship is probably thinking, if they're having conflict, boy, there's some things I could do without this, and vice versa. Where if I only had, I would be. And all of this is that perception, that relationship imbalance that you are perceiving, because you're doing the grass is greener thing on either side. And this destabilizes your spiritual powers. They're showing me the witches, you know, that's my symbol for spiritual power. Now, some of you have heard me mention that I've seen these beings as Saturnians. Right now, I'm feeling more, this is a symbolic vision about stepping into our spiritual power. And this grass is greener thing that we do, it is a form of lack. So therefore it is fear. You may not perceive it that way, but that's the base of what it is. Because I actually believe that underneath, you know, fear comes first, and then underneath fear is lack. It's the thing that drives our fear. What we know as the emotion of fear, lack is what drives it from underneath. And so you want to be a powerful manifester. You want to manifest love. You want to manifest other opportunities for yourself. But as long as you are doing the grass is greener as a practice, because that's how things that are counter imbalances, that's how they get into our awareness of truth. You are a being of truth. You are a spiritual being of truth and wisdom. This is something that is. It is not something that you have to achieve, but we work from this mind frame, a three-dimensional mind frame. We are believing that we are unworthy and therefore trying to become worthy. We believe that we are fallible and therefore trying to become perfect. We believe that we are unhealthy, and so therefore we are always working to become healthy. We are always coming from that place of lack. This is your strife. It has showed me an eye with a tear dropping. This is the story, not necessarily truth, more fiction. This is the story that we all keep activating, reactivating, retelling. That is a story, no matter which story you listen to. And maybe this week you'll notice that people tell their stories. And it's all the same story, meaning it's all motivated by the same plot idea. Lack, 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 lack. I lack, 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 lack. So you see somebody else, when the other grass is green on the other side, lack, 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 lack. That's what it is. And just imagine that underneath, quietly, lack, 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 lack. Just going on, and it's stirring up worries. It's stirring up all kinds of mischief, illusions. And it's fighting. All of that is resisting the light, resisting the truth, resisting your spiritual power. You're resisting what is. And this is why you feel darn awful all the time, because you are resisting the light. That's the signal of feeling darn awful, is resisting light. It means nothing else but I'm resisting light. I'm resisting truth. And so Archangel Raphael writes his name again, call upon him to do this work, to help you do this work. All you got to do is ask, and then stand back and keep an open mind to the way that you perpetuate fear. Because each one of us has a very creative way of doing it and concealing it. And they just wrote the word prison. It kind of imprisons us, and we don't sometimes know it. We can feel it, but we think that we've got to fix this. And what you're trying to fix is already an illusion. So you get involved in trying to fix an illusion, and you end up deeper in your illusion. This is why a while ago, some years ago, they said you don't fix problems, implement solutions. And you probably remember me saying this a long time ago, because a lot of people believe that they get their breakthrough by hammering away at the problem. You don't do that. You do. There are people who have experienced the breakthrough after hammering away at the problem, but it didn't happen until they, even for a split second, released the hammering away at the trying to fix the problem, and they allowed in the solution. That's the only way the solution can get there. You can't hammer it into existence, but you can release the resistance that you're giving, offering, and receive the solution. So don't try to fix the problem. Implement the solution. If you know you have a bad habit, don't try to fix the bad habit. Think of its alternative. Because this is kind of different, if you understand what I'm saying. Because most people, and they keep writing food. So let's say, well, because I'm struggling with this too, but it's like, okay, so you say, I'm feeling that I'm overweight or whatever. And so you say to yourself, okay, how do you try to work on fixing this problem? And so you start doing this, and you start doing this, and you start doing this. And all the while, you're still perpetuating that idea, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. And so everything that you try as a fix doesn't have sustainability for you. You either don't feel motivated, because you know why? Because you're still telling yourself you're not good enough. So what's the use? And if you're telling yourself you're not good enough, and you are the creator of your reality truly, and from the way that you're approaching it, you may be right on have your finger right on the pulse of a good idea, of a solution, but your approach is what's holding you back. And so if you have, if you see this is a bad habit I have here, then think of its alternative solution. Think of the solution, that is to say, think of the thing that just inspires you, that also makes you feel good about yourself, and that helps you to recognize how beautiful you are right where you are right now. Because when you find the solution from that place, or you find a solution that is, affirming those beliefs. See, so the beliefs is where we need to start with the implementation. We need to implement new beliefs, and then find the solutions from there. And the best way to do this is to breathe, pause, and just observe. Just be an observer. To just break that impulse from before. Just breathe, so that's the way that you bring, and that observing or meditating, or you're doing something that just inspires you, and you go to do that instead of trying to worry about that problem. So you're like, okay, I got this food issue, and so instead of going, okay, I'm gonna go do this now, and you still don't believe it, because deep down you're like, I'm overweight, that means I don't look good, that means I'm not good enough, blah 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 blah, right? You're digging the deep ditch deeper, even though everything you're saying is a good idea, But where you're coming from, you're not on the same wavelength with that great idea. You are not truly believing. You don't have confidence in it. But if you know that deep down, it's not the surface, like that you feel or look overweight, but that deep down is, I lack, and therefore I'm not worthy. And you have to go down there and meet and meet that and come up with the solution from there. So find something you fully believe in, something that makes you feel so good. Like if it's something creative that you do, for instance. And just pause, breathe, reflect, and just imagine yourself when you're doing that, if you can't get to it right then and there, or if it's not something that you have access, imagine. And then from that place, see your situation through the eyes of that loving, supportive, nurturing creativity. And it'll feel, and it's not going to feel different all of a sudden, but with practice, it will. Every time you notice that feeling, that negating feeling, then you pause, sobering breaths. You know, you can go into your heart flame and then imagine with joy how you feel when you're connecting with this creative activity, or maybe it really should be something that you can do for yourself, something you can give yourself joy from within, because if you make it about other people, but if you need that for the time being, fine, but then try to move away from that and find something that's just you, that place is starting from. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we have in the cards, because I had my eyes closed the whole time and didn't see the time looking at the images that they're giving me. Okay, and so we have Archangel Azrael, counselor. And it says, you are a natural counselor and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. Okay, so this tells me that, I don't know why this is coming up, but it tells me that sometimes we who are called in some way, whether it's professionally or just as that wonderful neighbor or friend who always listens and always seems to have the right advice, that we forget to take care of ourselves. And it's so funny because I was just asking this question today after doing a lot of different readings and just realizing, whoa, I need to do some self-care. And so we forget to take care of ourselves and really make sure that our energy is sort of balanced. And that occurs when we make sure that we have, equal parts of time for our own pleasure, and time to heal, and time to just rest and relax, to nurture ourselves. Let me just tune in and see. So I'm sort of seeing like this beautiful lake that's just really calm and placid, and it seems like an early dawn when you can't even see the sunlight, but over the horizon of some trees, it's emitting these beautiful cool colors right before the light really sets in. And then I'm seeing the naked behind sort of sitting on the horizon. And so it's a beautiful scene, but it just seems if there's a feeling of needing time to really sit, meditate, to open yourself. And it usually means vulnerability for me, but since they're sitting on these trees, the horizon of these trees, like a giant almost, it's giving me a sense that you need some time to just reflect. And, the early dawn lights are, it's interesting how we have these different beautiful settings of light that the universe offers us in the early dawn, when the light's just breaking, and then our daylight, and then our twilight, and so our nighttime light from the moon, and all this, these different aspects, and there's these different colors that come, and so those early morning lights just sort of bring us, sort of activate our consciousness. And so it would be wonderful, if you can, to just get up and and just take in those early. They're right in the word channel. So there's a sense of you being able to channel those activations of the I forgot the word they used before, but the awakening consciousness. So there's an opportunity for you to sort of activate your consciousness for the day, and to also get some downloads from that frequency of the morning. Okay? So, which could prepare you for the work that you'll be doing throughout your day, kind of helps you. So that early, what I get a sense is that early morning light, that dawn, sets your frequency at a very high vibration, because what I was kind of seeing was like pinks and blues, very translucent, right? And so it's that higher consciousness vibration. It's that early dawn, with those pale colors, the higher consciousness activations, so that you start off with the high vibration to keep you, to help you, support you, your perspective throughout the day. All right? So let's take a look at and it's sort of the same colors that I was seeing that's in his, the wings here, now that I notice. It's very beautiful pale colors. And you could also, again, you can, if you can't get up that early, then you can imagine these colors in an early dawn in your head, in your imagination, and still receive the activation. And you could, go into your heart flame and sort of get these activations. It's also interesting because I had this card out for myself for the week. Kuan Yin is similar colors here. Just been sitting here all week and didn't notice it. So you could look at maybe the lilac violet flame. You could work with the lilac violet flame. Okay? So let's take a look at the first card for the week. All right, and so we have the Emperor here. And this card came up last week at the end of the week. And so the Emperor is, so about grounding and stability, structure. So there is this sort of overall arcing sort of sense in this week that you really want to really be grounded. So emotions and things may really be sort of about, right? It's an emotional week for a lot of people. And, here's we have that card, the counseling. So counselor, you may find yourself in a situation where you're just trying to manage your emotions, or your other people around you who are maybe emotional, and you may just want to bring in that calm. So you may want to call on Archangel Azrael to just help you to bring in that calm energy. And his energy is sort of a pale, sort of white, like eggshell, very pale eggshell white. Again, those high frequencies of vibration, consciousness. And so you may want to bring in that, and here it is in the Emperor, sort of that pale color that's sort of surrounding. It's like he's got golds here, but you notice the pale eggshell white sort of in the background. So it's really giving us a sense that as the week starts, that we are going to need to really be grounded and to not let ourselves let our emotions sort of just rule. And so you may want to call on, and you can actually place this eggshell white color around yourself or other people or groups of people where you see there's a lot of contention and or in the right in the word neglect. If somebody, you can tell sometimes that the energy of a person is kind of imbalanced or just sort of giving off a sense of neglect. And so just put around them first this beautiful pale translucent off-white color, and then notice when you may feel there's a right time, they may approach you, or you may get a sense that they're in the right place for you to approach them, to just say, how's it going? Do you need anything? Just a sort of an act of love. And the thing is that you want to, maybe you're going to be called to give some stable guidance, some guidance that provides structure. Maybe the person isn't able to, they're not functioning at their best, and they could be stuck on something, and it could be that it's their emotions have, it's just gotten in the way, and they could be just running that whole lack thing, right? And so you may be able to come in and provide some kind of structure and some kind of constructive advice that will give them something to hold on to and be able to execute whatever it is they need to get done. So I'm just seeing this huge tree and all of these people underneath the tree, like the tree branches, like this huge umbrella for this world family. And so there's a sense of, we're all in this together, and we're just one big world, and so it feels like, that we kind of pitch in and we help each other, that we support each other in this week, all right? They're writing out, some people may feel like, I saw the word failure, and some people may feel like they're failing, or that they are failures, and they may need that little support. So just be aware of what people are dealing with in this week. And now we have the Six of Cups, and so this is that emotional component and nostalgia, memories, and just drawn to, because this so reminds me like of the city. And I noticed living in big cities like this as well, is that there's so much energy, just like just coming in at you, and close quarters, so to speak. And it's really a challenge to remain in integrity, with in alignment with your own, for lack of a better word, heartbeat, with your own heart's desire. And so it's like there's so much energy running interference, and it's easy to get distracted and to sort of get called off into, off on tangents that just have nothing to do with the priorities of your own soul. So you really want to make sure that you don't stray away from your priorities. And just thinking about, here we got this really strong adult, and we have these children here, and sometimes the feeling may be like that we may want to revert to, or we allow ourselves to revert to inner child things, where we're easily sensitive, and not, this is a bad thing, because this is our gift, right? Being sensitive, but we take things as a personal attack. And when we do that, that's not the same as being sensitive, meaning being aware. You're now allowing your gift to turn on against you and to destabilize what your abilities of leadership and your spiritual power, right? Because we were talking about that earlier. All right, so just be aware, in this week that, a lot of, there's like our inner child, these, sort of adolescent emotions can kind of get the best of us and kind of throw us off track. So really set a strong goal for yourself in this week, like what it is that you want to focus on, implement the solution. So make set a plan that or an intention, set a strong intention for yourself in this week, and possibly how you might handle it. So if there's something that you've in a previous week that's on your mind, that's kind of bugging you, and you say, like, this week I want to go and do, and be different. I want to handle this differently. Well, first of all, you got to get down to the surface of what form of lack is causing you to react this way, and then in some way connect in with an emotional response on that level that is the alternative to it. And set that emotional response as your intention, meaning that you've related it to something positive, and it could be it could be something that you do, creative, and you like, if I were to go practice right now or do that or meditate, I would just feel this, enormous sense of power and success, and so I would use that emotion to become my intention to help me sort of know what it is that I want to focus on, things like it in the week. That's what I'm trying to sort of getting at there. All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. And now we have the Moon card, which came up in some readings. It came up in the daily card message last week, and on Friday for Friday. So we have some energies overlapping here. And of course, this card here, and I don't know if you can see it, but I'll just lift it up. But, this card is about those illusions. Now, there seems to be two women here. And if you notice, they haven't shaved their legs. And so I don't want to talk about things like this because I'm not a man, and I'm not talking about whether it's right or wrong, but just for the sake of the card, because it's unusual and it really catches you. And it's like being yourself, just being natural. And at the same time, they're having to, wear these masks, So the thing about this is that it's a feeling about, this card is about things that could be hidden, right, or concealed, or things that are surfacing. And right now, you really want to focus on being authentic. It's almost like they're giving us the intention. This week, you want to focus on being authentic, but without the need for the mask, to really be able to come out and be yourself, be who you truly are. Because when you have to compromise what you're comfortable, so let's put it this way: when you have to compromise being who you are authentically, the way that you express yourself authentically, then this sets limits, not freedoms, into your vibration. And so think about this as a priority for this week, to really be who you truly are, and to allow, we're not saying force, but to allow, because the Moon card here is about, also about intuition and things healing and revealing. They come up, these are the things that, like in dream world, it's sort of like, you are free in your dream world. Your consciousness plays with every idea. It's very malleable. And that's why in our dream state, we have these really sort of bizarre experiences, realities, but they are realities within themselves, because they are the realities that you won't allow yourself to live, or they're the realities you won't allow yourself to confront so that you can heal. But either way, allowing them allows you to be who you truly are, and allows you to live in what we would call an evolved way. So look at how you, look at what fear may be motivating you. What fear of lack is motivating you to hold back, to maybe suppress your authentic self. And can you stand behind this? Can you work to stabilize this so that you don't let these sort of adolescent emotions sort of hold you back, right? Like derail you. Because when we get, upset with somebody and, they make me feel like this. Now, I know this is the healthy way to talk about feelings, but also listen to that, because you're making them responsible. And that is adolescent, that no one else is responsible or should be responsible for how you feel, because if you give them that power, you don't have that power to change your life and to use your energy for what you want it to be used for, and for what you want to manifest and create. And, so this is really about stepping into your power, but being aware of what intuitively is surfacing for you, and to no longer allow yourself to suppress that any longer. So now we look at this card with the children, and we think about when we were kids and we dreamed we had no limits in our being. And so there's a connection here to here, but there's a connection here as well. So it's like two stories here, and it's all coming out of the minor arcana card, which is the light and the shadow of this card is, the idealism, the creative imagination, the unlimitedness of the child's imagination and way of being. And then there's that adolescent, the shadow taking things personally and making things about attack so that you can't feel empowered, so that you waste time and energy where you are devalued and where you are disempowered. Okay? So, and when we get stuck in those things, and you can probably go through your life right now and as an adult, and there are things where you still hold people accountable, or you hold them as the blame for something that didn't work out for you. And that disempowerment is a thing of lack. I'm inadequate, because you're holding yourself there. They're not holding you there. You are holding yourself there. And what's happening is that the influences here is to bring balance to power, and to bring, and in doing so, bring it to the surface. Bring balance to your spiritual power, to enhance the light within this card, the Six of Cups, the light aspect, and to de-emphasize the shadow aspect of this card. All right, so let's take a look at the intense, right? The card I already pulled from the bottom of the deck. And I'm just going to say right off the bat that this is where we want to be. This is that whole thing we've been talking about. You've heard me mention it, focusing on the creativity. And the Page of Wands is about being open to these new ideas, these new creative ideas. He loves to explore. All the pages love to explore, learn, right? And we often think of them as bringing through messages. But in this sense, it's about, being open to new beginnings and, getting that new start, breaking that old pattern is to, really throw yourself into something, you know, like the hobby that you've been, you think that's not that big of a deal, that probably is more your life purpose than anything else, because it has this freedom to it. And, you know, but focusing where what gives you joy, what lights your fire, put your attention there, not on the personal attack stuff. Okay? So I send you lots of love and angel blessings. And I want to thank everybody for just being, joining us for the live chat that we've had for the last 4 weeks. And if you haven't seen those yet, you can go to my channel and check those out. If you're looking for an angel reading, please feel free to contact me at theangelschool.com. And on the services page, you can find that link below as well. Also, if you'd like, if you haven't joined us for the daily card messages, you can find that on Twitter. I've now started to post them also on YouTube, my daily card messages. So if you subscribe to my channel, that way you'll be aware, maybe it'll come up in your feed when I post anything, as well as those daily card messages posts. So check that out this week. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week.